Hey guys, welcome back. Thank you for joining me again. So in this video, what I'm going to be talking about is how to make an assessment about whether or not you need to secure an order of protection, a protective order, a restraining order, a temporary restraining order. Everywhere you go, they're going to have slightly different names, but basically the purpose is the same. It is to keep some person who you feel is a threat to you, to keep them away. Before I jump into any of that, let me just take a minute to say, some of you will watch this video just because it's a vlog of mine. And then some of you will not know me from Adam, and you will stumble across this video because you type in, something about a protective order, and that will cause you to land here. Getting an order of protection is not something that you should do lightly. It is not something you should do in retaliation or because someone broke your heart or cheated on you or any of those kinds of things. An order of protection is for one reason only: protection. One of the most challenging things about dealing with an order of protection is actually getting yourself to the place emotionally or mentally where you kind of go, yeah, that needs to happen. Now, sometimes that will be, in my instance, because someone tells you that you have to do it. And sometimes it will be because you finally realize after years of abuse that you are ready to leave and that this person will likely act out against you. Now, let me just throw some very light statistics at you. Now, I live in the state of Louisiana. State of Louisiana, the current year is 2016, is the number 2 state, number 2 in the nation, right behind Washington, D.C., for female gun death. Over 50% of the time, that is carried out by a former intimate partner, spouse, boyfriend, whatever, girlfriend. My point is, it does happen. It happens a lot. Those statistics are not thrown out there to scare you. They're thrown out there to help you understand that if you actually feel like you need an order of protection, you probably do. And no matter what anybody else may tell you, that does not make you crazy or paranoid. It makes you smart. You don't want to become one of the statistics, okay? Now, all of this information, the surveys, the links, further resources, any phone numbers that I may mention, it's all listed in the down bar below. All right. One of the things that some people will ask you when you go to secure an order of protection is this. This is called the Lethality Assessment Profile, and it was developed by, I believe they were police officers, maybe psychologists in the state of Maryland. And what it is it's a tool for first responders, typically policemen, medical personnel at a hospital, to make an assessment about whether or not this individual is in a place, physically or otherwise, where they are at an increased risk for further harm to themselves. Not self-inflicted, obviously inflicted by another party. Some of the questions on here are things like, has he or she ever used a weapon against you or threatened you with a weapon? Do you think that he or she may try to kill you? Does he or she have a gun or have access to one easily? Have you ever left him or her or separated after living together or being married? Now, a lot of these questions, seem pretty obvious, and a lot of them may seem kind of irrelevant. They take the statistics of these women who have been either violently assaulted, generally speaking, murdered, and they compile all of the risk factors that were the same, and they generated this lethality assessment profile, and it is used for the purposes of referring people to go and to secure an order of protection. Now, this is not the be-all, end-all. I'm not telling you if you do this and you don't get a score that is favorable, well, forget it, you're crazy, don't go get an order of protection. That is not what I'm saying at all. I'm just, exposing you to one resource that you can use to kind of answer some questions about whether or not that is a road that you want to walk down. Now, in my particular instance, it was handled very seriously because not only had this individual repeatedly pointed a firearm at me, he was military, so he had access to multiple firearms, and he was proficient with them. There had been threats of all kinds going around. So statistically speaking, that is why mine was handled so seriously, because the chances of there having been something else to happen were increased. All right, now, so that is one way. And then let me just stop right there for 1 second. So now you've heard me say that, and you know about this tool, and I really think that you should go and look at this lethality assessment profile. Again, the link is in the down bar. There are also a million other resources. Most of the ones that I think are very relevant listed below. One that is extremely valuable to me is the National Domestic Violence Hotline, and that is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They have trained counselors who answer the phone. You may not be at a place where you're ready to tell someone that you know what's happening or seek help. I was not. I looked on YouTube to see how were people dealing with this, and I called that hotline a lot, because when you're in that kind of a situation, the other person is telling you or behaving as if that is normal when it is clearly not. But you do lose your perspective when you're in that situation. So it is a very good resource to be able to say, these are the things that are happening. Is this normal behavior? And the sad part is you really shouldn't have to ask that question ever, but you do, because the emotional mindset of someone who feels like a victim at that time is not, you're not in your right headspace, because emotionally there's been so much manipulation or physical violence or threats of physical violence that you're just not where you need to be. That is an excellent resource. Please take advantage of that. Look at the lethality assessment profile. Call the National Domestic Violence Hotline. It's completely anonymous. Nobody ever called back. Nobody ever saw anything. And then another thing that I want you to do is I want you to Google the term intimate partner violence. And that is the whole subject umbrella, I suppose you could say, about abuse that happens between intimate partners, which has a very different dynamic than, of course, someone that gets in a fight at a bar or whatever. It's a whole host of emotions, range of emotions that are involved in this intimate partner violence that make it so tragic, toxic, and terrifying. Love, hate, two sides of the same coin. Look that term up. And let me just stop you and tell you right now that if you're watching this video because you need that, you are not crazy. You are not being a drama queen. You are not paranoid. You are probably not trying to grind an axe if you're this far into this video. I've spoken my piece about that already. You are going to be okay. But no one is going to come to your door on a white horse and rescue you. Not the police, not anybody else. You are going to have to make a decision that your life is more important to you than your relationship to this individual. Emotional abuse, physical abuse, any kind of abuse, it's not love. It is not love. It is not love towards you. People that love other people do not hurt them. You know the saying, hurt people hurt people. You are going to be scared. You're going to shake like a leaf. You're going to cry. But you have to do it. You have to get up one morning, you have to take a shower, get dressed, get in the car, go to the county courthouse, and you have to file the paperwork. And this will be my closing statement on this video. Please, for the love of everything that you hold holy, stay the hell away from this person. Because I have seen so many times where a woman will go and secure a protective order and let her emotions get the better of her, or fear, or whatever, and then make contact, or allow that individual back into their lives. That is a mistake. It is a mistake that ends tragically for a lot of women all over the country every single year. And I implore you, do not do that. If you ask for the protection of the court, then stand behind that protection and stay away from that person. Because yes, they're going to be mad, and yes, they're going to tell you that you're overreacting and beg you to drop the charges. That's if they don't have enough common sense to stay away for the stay away order, but some people do not. If you make that decision, then you stand on your own 2 feet and you stand behind that decision. And you wait the 14 days and you go into court and you say why you think you need an order of protection. And then you rebuild your life and you walk away and you look over your shoulder from time to time, because that person will still be a threat to you for a long time. But you do not go back. That is what you do not do. Do not waste your time or the court's time or anybody else's time with that. You make this decision, you go, you get it done. Now that you either think you may or may not need an order of protection, go ahead and click onto the next video here, because that's going to be the one, again, where I discuss MPO, TRO, both, what the protocol is, what the process looks like, which hopefully will make it less intimidating. It really was not an intimidating process once I was there. It was, again, the military protective order, I didn't really have a choice. Well, actually, come to think about it, I didn't really have a choice with the civilian protective order because of the way that the military handled the first order. So it's just really not that scary. It's not something to be done without a considerable amount of forethought. But once you are there, this is something they see every day. They will walk you through the process, and then, you need to do what you need to do to stay safe. All right, I hope that was helpful. Please click on to the next video if you want to know which kind of a protective order you should file for. And, like, share, comment. Let me know what kind of questions I didn't answer or questions that you would like answered. Some of those things, if I see a comment, I will respond to you privately and not post publicly, because there are some details that I don't want to put out there because I do not want to upset anybody. That's it, guys. I hope to see you on my vlog tomorrow. I love you guys, and I will see you on my next vlog. Bye.